And I knew what it was like to get called fat on the playground, to get bullied, saying I'm a druggie, to have people look at you differently.
How does diabetes affect young athletes as a whole?
So for my experience with diabetes at a young age and sport in general, it was a bit challenging because I've had a lot of, at the time there's like Bobby Clark was in the NHL prior to me getting the diagnosis, and he was type 1 diabetic. And then people think of like, oh, Max Domi is like another hockey guy with diabetes, but he's only 2 years older than me. So we kind of grew up at the same point where there really wasn't that influential person out there. And I think back to, and there was coaches that'd be like, hey, like you shouldn't be playing competitive hockey. There was doctors being like, you shouldn't play competitive hockey. Like, you should just relax, kind of like take it back. You can go and enjoy yourself, but not like too intense. So there was definitely different barriers into that place. And even like coaches not knowing how to handle me if I did have a low glucose, or if I was going to be a little bit of a distraction to the team. Like those kind of questions would come up. So you had to educate and advocate for yourself at that time. And so that's something that I really felt was needed in the community. And even like in the grand scale, I've been able to really, I know a lot of people have been able to really change the diabetes diagnosis to, instead of letting it manage them, manage the diabetes and not let it manage you. And that was kind of the motto that I grew up with, my parents instilled in me. And so now looking at the whole landscape, today is a lot better. It's a lot better for people with diabetes, but there still is a stigma sometimes. I have a program for type 1 diabetic children, and then I'm also ambassador with lots of different nonprofits and that kind of thing. And I find that an area that is still lacking is still the awareness and the knowledge. I think people are more aware, it's more the knowledge of it now. It's like, okay, well, you're a diabetic, but like, how does that affect you? Like, what exactly goes on?
What is diabetes?
I'll give it to like the most concrete, basic, third grade level. So type 1 is where your pancreas doesn't produce any insulin. So what that means is if you have a chocolate bar and you don't have diabetes, you're fine. Your blood sugar will go up a little bit, but your body will kick in and insulin will come from your pancreas and bring down your blood glucose level. But if I have a chocolate bar, my blood sugar goes up and my pancreas doesn't kick in because it doesn't produce any insulin. And so I just keep going up with my blood sugar, which then can lead to complications over time. And so with type 2 diabetes, their pancreas produces insulin, but their body is resistant, meaning that they have a chocolate bar, their pancreas is like, okay, I'm going to give myself some insulin, but then the body is not as resistant, so it doesn't give full amount, so it kind of goes up, and that's the difference. Type 1 is something that's genetically given to you, where type 2 is more later in life with the bad lifestyle habits, bad diet, not exercising as much.
Tell me about the Dahlgren diabetes.
So back in 2014, I was in North Battleford and I was playing AAA hockey there. And I met another person, Josh is his name, and he actually just got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And so I was at that time already living with it and treating it on my own. And he just got diagnosed. So he was asking me lots of questions. He's like, hey, I heard you have type 1 diabetes. Can you fill me in on how it works? So I kind of like gave him the lowdown. I helped him out, gave him some tips and tricks, supported him, was there throughout the process. And we were like the same age. He was my classmate and one of my good buddies, and still is one of my good buddies today. And so after that, we started chatting. He's like, dude, you should do this for other people. Like, why have you not done anything for other people like this? And so this program, Dahlgren's Diabetes, the idea was for other people with diabetes, type 1 diabetes, to feel beautiful for their difference and feel special. The whole reasoning as to why was because I know what it was like to be a child living with diabetes. And I knew what it was like to get called fat on the playground, to get bullied, saying I'm a druggie, to have people look at you differently, to be not picked for teams because of your diabetes. I know what it's like. So being able to help the next generation either not have to go through that, or when they go through that, be that support for them, was something that I really wanted to do. And then now more today, it's more like a mentorship aspect, really helping them with academics, scholarships. Some are talking to universities, some got committed already universities. And so like helping with school at university now and like relationship stuff. So like very, very cool to be in that aspect as well and still help them along their sport career too. But yeah, it's pretty special. And you think that you're helping them, but they helped me way more than I could ever help them. And it's so fulfilling being able to see what they're doing in this world. Like one is writing a book, one is writing another book, another one's created their own program. A couple have already gone to the government of Canada and advocated for change.
Wow.
Some are national ambassadors, some are provincial ambassadors, and I could brag about them forever. Just out here today, watch my diabetes practice. I'm looking forward to it. So nice to get back into the arena. I have 16 diabetes right now, and I'm keeping it at 16 because I treat them like my siblings or like family members. So I'm heavily involved in lots of different aspects, and I don't want to spread myself too thin. And so for me, being able to come to events like practices or games or going to art shows, dance recitals, those are things that I really value. Even just spending time with them outside of sport is something that I really find valuable. No way. They actually have a Broncos memorial sign. I find that it's fascinating that it's still up in the arena. It's been seven years later. And it's nice to see, honestly. I think for me, being able to memorialize something to help keep it alive in other people's lives really does make a positive impact on the families who have lost loved ones in particular, because they're the ones who grieve and have that loss. And I'll have to talk to the person who has it up there, the owner, and say thank you, because it means a lot. Those little things do change and mean a lot.